Hey dear viewer, hope you're doing well. Don't know if you exist or not. You may be some kid in 2062 that stumbles on my channel and thinks it's pretty cool. I was gonna ask the question, if you see footsteps in the snow, would you or would you not infer that somebody made the footsteps? You saw footsteps in the snow. Does that mean there was a person there? So that's really the kind of thinking that goes into proving God's existence. Now, I've made about 10 or 15 videos along the lines of proving God's existence. And if all of what you see around you doesn't prove it to you, then simply look inside of yourself. Something like that. The Quran says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala azza wa jal says that we will show them our signs in the universe at large and in their own souls until they'll know that this is the truth, that it is the truth, that there is a God. You know, I won't say that the Quran is God's book and so forth. That's not what I'm trying to prove with these videos. And I don't need to prove anything like that. It's self-evident. If you read the Quran and if you know Arabic, you'll realize that just as human being is preeminent over animals, planet Earth is preeminent over other planets that we see, the Quran is even more distinguished in regards to other books. Now look at that fellow when walking, literally skating on thin ice. And so what's really bizarre is that it goes all the way out there, and right in the distance, we're going to be passing there, dear viewer. It actually, it looks like it's actually somebody fishing or something. I don't know why you'd be walking around on the ice. And it's pretty fresh tracks because the snow is recent. But down there, basically, once again, there's water. Could we have a casualty on our hand, Jim? I don't know, sir. We'll check into it. Anyhow, you look at birds and you look at nature and you look at all the cool stuff that's going on in the universe and in your own souls. And then you say that the whole thing, like, why did it happen? There's so many questions. I mean, here's the thing. I guess for atheists, so the thinking once again is the footprints lead to God. Lead you to think there is a person, obviously, who made the footprints. The footprints is basically impossible. Nothing's impossible. Imam Khomeini rahmatullah alayhi used to say, don't say of anything that it's impossible. Rather, there may be something that's beyond your comprehension, I guess, right? So the footprints were made by a person. Everything around us is so amazing and so unified, right? So unified theory is something that people are more prone to believe in. Why not a single creator? And why can't he be sentient if we're sentient? Where did sentience come from? Did it just... So I guess the thinking is that complex thing can arise from a simpler thing versus the so-called creationist. I guess that's what I am. Like, I went to somebody's Twitter page and he says, I hate creationists. Isn't that as extreme as some extreme religious people? It's about the same thing, dear viewer. Isn't this awesome though? Flock of birds. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. And you're saying that all of this just happened. Why did it happen? Okay, so why did the universe come into being? And if it came into being, then why is it evolving? What's causing it to evolve? Like, it's a basic law of science that nothing changes. I mean, I got to sit down. What I'm realizing is I got to sit down and actually hash it out with one of these atheists. So the creationist once again says no, that the creator of something, as Bill Britt from Amway would say, the creator of something has to be greater than that which is created. So for instance, you look at a robot and the robots are pretty freaking cool. Computers are pretty cool. Spacecraft are pretty cool, right? However, human beings who made them are even cooler. Hold on, dear viewer, we've got to get this right. Kind of throws them off, huh? Oh, there they go. There they go. And So I mean, who taught these birds to fly, to basically do this kind of thing? We say it's instinct and it's coded in their genes and it's this and it's that and evolution. Like, don't you understand? Like, there has to be something more complex that is causing this whole thing to evolve into complexity, right? So, for instance, if you say the environment causes things to mutate in a sense of things take on different iteration, like through iterations of generations of species, let's say, a mutation will arise, and a given mutation essentially might be beneficial, okay, and then what happens is that it sticks in the gene pool because that species survives and all this kind of stuff. Listen, what Darwin came up with is marvelous. I don't see the big deal though. Seriously, it's not that amazing. Like, we evolved. The Quran says the same thing. You know, like, as a creationist, it's not that I'm jumping on the bandwagon. It's that I did what atheists are meant to do and what everyone is meant to do, which is I looked into the opposing opinion and I realized that we had to have evolved. There's thousands of pre-Homo sapien hominid skeletons in archaeological dig sites around the world. So you have to have the brain addled by crack or be on some really wacky science or faith or something not to you know, face the facts of that reality. We did evolve, and we evolved through successive iterations. Inna Allaha yubdi'u al-khalqa wa yu'iduhu. God created and then recreated. And then it says, something like that. That you know about. Don't you know about the first creation? Right? So there were previous creations to man. There were hominid creations, right? Beautiful. I wonder if the person who lives in this house is happier or less happy than I am. You know what I mean? Hey, it's nice to have things, and what's even nicer is to be able to share things with your... Isn't that gorgeous? God is the greatest of creators. Just look at that. I mean, it's a perfect freaking shot. What we'd do is we'd have a couple of people standing here, or some dude just standing here gazing out onto the lake. So as I was saying, dear viewer, I live in Calgary. It's a beautiful country, right? And you know, I just want to say on a like kind of offhand or off topic, bit of a digression as usual, obviously. Some kid has left his Jeep outside. So I wonder if that kid will ever watch an episode of MASH and then relate it back to that Jeep. It's exactly the same kind of thing. It's a World War II green Jeep. Now, you give a kid a World War II green Jeep, is that cool? Is that some kind of, isn't that some kind of, you know, what is it at? It's like basically saying that it's okay to go kill people. Is it? Or is it not? I don't know. Listen, it's okay to kill people for your country, isn't it? Or is it not? Is it okay to kill people for to protect your life? I think most people would say yes. In Islam, it says you should basically protect your property too, your life and your property. Look at some kids; they're crazy. They actually went and wrote on this on the. They're so insane. They could just fall right into the water. What would happen? They'd die essentially. Did they not think of that? That happens all the time. There's probably some poor fellow or people that have fallen into rivers and lakes today. Isn't this pagoda awesome? I don't know. I just have a thing with pagodas, dear viewer. So I need to sit down and talk to some kind of atheist, right? And come to some kind of conclusion, or essentially what it is, I'd like to think, is that there's a series of arguments, or there's a series of basically counter arguments, or there's a series of discussions that need to take place in order to take someone who's a devout atheist and turn him into a devout believer, or vice versa. Both of us cannot be right. One of us is right, the other one is wrong, and therefore you go through a successive series of stages. Now, until today, I was on the phone with my friend Jerome Robinson. He owns satellite cable install shops. I mean, basically his own company with like 5 locations in Florida. I'm so proud of the guy. He's a bit younger than me, maybe a couple of years, and when I lived in the University of Bridgeport, he used to have a landscaping company, and I was going through some hard times, you know what I mean? I lost my scholarship at the University of Bridgeport because I was smoking too much weed and kind of made me a bit wacky. And so Jerome, to basically literally let me stay at his place. He just took me under his wing, just some guy. And my dad said afterwards that, you know, you never forget never forget someone who does you a favor, right? So I was talking to Jerome, and to be honest with you, that lady over there, V-I-B-E, totally lost the train of thought. But in any case, yeah, I was telling him that basically until today, I had the feeling that I want to keep going, you know, giving you a view of the lake panorama as much as possible. But until today, I thought it was pretty straightforward to say and assume logically that an infinitely long universe in terms of time, going back in time, is ridiculous. Like, to say the universe has existed forever is illogical. That's what I had assumed to be the case. That once you pointed out to someone that there's only two options, either the universe has existed forever or it's not. Once you pointed that out to him, me in my naive mind, to me it seems self-evident. Like, how can a universe have existed forever? It doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever, right? So that's the last look at the lake. I mean, it's just gorgeous, isn't it gorgeous? And there's like some effects in the sky over here, and it looks different on the camera. And way yonder, somewhere there you go, is a plane in the sky. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Like this shot right here. Seriously, you could have some really intense movies. Like, you'd have the guy standing here right now, right? And then suddenly he'd start moving, and you'd realize he's a person. Maybe someone wearing a kind of Johnny Cash outfit. So in any case, dear viewer, this is called Saddletown. Don't ask me why, but this is the main plaza in Saddletown. It's pretty cool. It's kind of cowboyish now that I think of it. It really is. Look, it says Saddletown Dental over there, just in case you think I'm on crack or something. I'm not on crack. Like my good buddy from Cyprus. Well, we went to university in Cyprus. I sent him a video and he's like, "Are you on something?" So yeah, Bevan, I was like, "I'm on life, man." So basically what it is not trying to get killed right now. And it's gonna be tough because these guys in their SUVs, they're fucking fuckers sometimes. But we'll manage, dear viewer. Noisy too, huh? Goddamn box drivers. I gotta get across to the CIBC, right? I'm buying a guitar. I'm gonna pick up my buddy Murray at about 4 o'clock. And then we're gonna go up to Airdrie. And there's someone selling a really sweet guitar up there. And it's like a Vince Neil limited edition guitar. He's selling it for $100. And no, he's not desperate. He's a family guy. He's kind of cool about it. He's like, hey, you know, someone else wants it. Someone else is interested, but I'll give it to you. Right? Because I've been bugging the shit out of him. Obviously, right? Anyhow, I'm all over the place. So, I put out this video, okay, and Bevan said something, and I told him I'm high on life, alright? So, no, I'm not smoking crack. I'm not on any kind of drugs. I'm not really insane. What happens is that if I smoke too much weed, I start losing it. And that's really it. And it's not just weed, there's other things too. Like e-cigarettes do it for me. Or Amway vitamins do it for me. E-cigarettes do it for me. Something called 5-HTP does it for me. So 5-HTP is basically something, I love this tagline, you're richer than you think. So 5-HTP basically goes into your brain along with tryptophan. Like, it's something like your liver or some gland producing it, right? And where's this damn CIBC? There's an RBC. I don't see a CIBC. There's a Scotiabank. it's like my whole thing with the law of opposites. The thing that you want the most eludes you. The more you want something, the more it eludes you. I was thinking, this is great. There's a CIBC here, and I'll be able to go and withdraw my money and not even have to worry about it later on. But now I can see that that's not going to be the case. So we're going to the Genesis Center next, way yonder over there. It's not focusing. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And I just want to say one last thing, okay, dear viewer. So forgive any digressions. I've started to try to minimize my digressions, or at least come back to them. You know, minimize them, come back to them. So what happens is, yeah, obviously they've given me some medication, take this to calm down and all this kind of rubbish, because I kept getting in trouble, right? Basically, when this stuff started happening, like I started smoking weed and it started driving me seriously insane, but not in the psycho way, but more from the common person's perspective. You feel like you're Superman and your thoughts are super cogent and you're just running about doing all kinds of interesting and incredible things. It's such a far cry from daily living. And it seems to me, at least, that well, it seems to the person who's going through this, because I'm not the only one apparently. Person going through this feels like they're like enlightened and they finally figured out this secret sauce of life, and they'll talk to people on the street and say things and try and help people out, and it's just a different kind of life. It's actually a very beautiful existence, quite frankly. It's something quite marvelous. So anyhow, I'm going around in circles. I want to say that I put out another video about the existence of God, okay? And I had an atheist, a couple of them, for some reason. I must have tweeted it or some. See, I'm trying to figure out how people find my videos. So I tweet them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Hey, if I send out an email blast, I can get 100 people to watch a video, right? If I send out an email blast, something like that. If I really go gung ho, at least that's what happened with the Charlie Hebdo thing. I put out a video about Charlie Hebdo saying, you know, like, of course we're very sorry about what happened. I mean, it's stupid. How can you not be sorry? You know, the guy doesn't know nothing about nothing. You think the guy, okay, so let's say, okay, just bear with me. Let's say, as whoever is listening to this, I'm assuming you're a non-Muslim. Let's just say, however, that Muslims are correct and there is a God and he sends messengers because he doesn't talk to people individually because he's too sublime. And, you know, if there is a God, you know, he's sanctified and he's sacred and he's holy and he's all goodness, and yeah, you should be nice to him, right? You should respect him, and then you should respect his messengers, and you should respect his books and his religion. However, let's say, okay, so that's all good. However, let's say this person, editor or whoever, he simply doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe it. So is that his fault? He's just not aware of these things. Now, if as a Muslim I do something like that, then perhaps I should be punished because I know better. But as a non-Muslim, I'd say, if anything, you get basically Genesis Center, Giddy, Calgary Public Library. Well, what we'll do, viewer, we'll do a Tom Green move or a Jerky Boys move or something. What we'll do is we'll walk right up to the lady at the desk, right? And then we'll see what she says. I wonder if she'll say turn off the camera, because I got like 4 or 5 minutes left. Actually, I wanted to keep this damn thing under, oh god, it's already at 18 minutes or so. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, it is what it is. Alright, so one of these fellows, both of them actually, they were very intelligent. One of them was like some kind of plateau physical engineer, some goddamn thing like that, and he's telling me about the beginning of the universe, mashallah, and he was using words that were like, and terms and specs and planks and all this stuff that were just, I'd never heard this kind of description before, and he seemed to understand all of the technicality of the universe being created and what happened and what we know, what we don't know, what we presume, what we assume, all this kind of stuff. However, what he didn't do, in my thinking at least, he hadn't thought about, like, oh look, I was just going to film that crane and he stopped. Oh, there he goes. Guys working over there. They can probably see me with the camera, right? And now they're hard at work, obviously. You know, because people don't talk around here, right? At least out loud. And when you see someone walking down the street with a camera, talking and gesticulating, my buddy Murray used this term today, castigate. That a security guard castigated him. I was like, that's awesome, man. That's like biblical. He's like a holy guy, right? So this is the beautiful Genesis Center. It's a multi-million dollar complex in the northeast of Calgary. So basically, if you go all the way up 68th Street, you're gonna miss it, but it's in that region. Yeah, you just asked about Saddletown, and they're still obviously building new developments. This looks like it's going to be something really awesome, whatever it is. So once again, the people that live around here, they probably don't wonder what this is. I'm thinking it's going to be a school or a shopping mall or something. Look at the site. It goes from there all the way across. It's at least as big as the Genesis Center. So we're here right now, going inside. Isn't that gorgeous? How can I not thank God? People are being bombed and slaughtered everywhere. In the States, you've got people running around and crime and inflation. In Europe, it's just like going down the tubes. There's nowhere to breathe anymore out there. They have neo-Nazi resurgence and all this kind of stuff. So the people who live here aren't going to think about the site, this construction site. The same way that this guy who was describing the universe did not think about its creator. Where did it come from? It seems self-evident. Imam Sadiq, peace be upon him, said, oh, look at that. Brr, it's cold outside. I love this kind of stuff. It's just amazing. I mean, I love this kind of stuff. That's like total Canadian for you. So the person didn't think to himself, and look at this, it's nice and yellow. I wonder how this comes out. You know, I feel so much better, dear viewer. I mean, I got to thank you, even if you don't exist. I was feeling a bit on the low end, right? And part of it is just the medication. But in any case, so the person described the creation of the universe and all this kind of gorgeous nonsense, but he didn't think to himself, hey, ماذا تفعل? Hello? Aww. So he didn't think to himself, who created the universe, right? Same way the people out here, they see the construction site. You can see people running up there. It's got an amazing gym. Olympic-sized track, Olympic-sized pool. They got like all kinds of good stuff up there. Racquetball courts, gymnasium, blah, 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 blah. I used to go there, but then I decided I'd work out at home instead. So here we are. Library's around here somewhere. I keep getting lost. Okay, there we go. So yeah, once again, dear viewer, the existence of an uncaused cause seems to me, it seemed to be a de facto given. Now, one of these guys, this neurological scientist or whatever, or the engineer, he said something or the other and just described the universe, and I was like, thank you. I realized he was totally out to lunch and just didn't see things my way. Now, the other guy is the one who, hello there, make sure you be good, all right? And you make sure you pat them on the head from time to time. All right, I shouldn't be speaking that loud, I guess. Anyhow, so this guy basically says, today, this is what he said that really blew my mind. He's like, listen, this is the de facto position. The de facto position is that the universe has existed forever, and if he's like the onus is on you guys. If you're so-called creationists, if you believe in God, the onus is on you to prove it's any different, because as far as we can tell, it's been around forever, but that doesn't make any sense. And I'm trying to explain to him how it's illogical. The best I could come up with is something that my buddy said, Zaid. He's like, there's no such thing as zero, and there's no such thing as infinity, right? And so I was trying to explain to him how an infinitely old universe doesn't make any goddamn sense, just like an infinitely large universe doesn't make sense. And we're having a very interesting discussion. In fact, I hope to show him this video and perhaps invite him to have a discussion. We'll do it on Skype or something like that. But let's say the universe is expanding, then there's the question, what is on the other side of its outermost edge? Because you understand, there's no space, there's no time, there's no matter, there's no energy, there's nothing out there, but there's no such thing as nothing. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. This guy was like, he's like, it's up to you to convince us that there's something other than a universe that's just been around forever. Doesn't make any damn sense to me. Alright, so here we go. I told you we would walk right up to the desk, dear viewer. That's what we're gonna do, and we'll see what this lovely lady says and or does.
Hello.
Hello, lovely lady. She's like, who, me? I'll turn it off. So, ma'am.